we are starting the next chapter, chapter 4. Chapter name and the topic what we are going to discuss is basis of accounting. This is the last theory chapter of this textbook. Next onwards, we are having problem chapters. So I hope you have learned all other, previous three chapters, previous three theory chapters clearly. So now we'll start this basis of accounting. One basis you have learnt already, that is accrual basis of accounting. The second one what we have to discuss is cash basis of accounting. You remember the accrual concept, and it is similar to revenue recognition concept. You remember that what was accrual concept? According to that concept, transactions will be recorded in the books of account at the time when transaction takes place, not when the settlement takes place. What do you mean by settlement taking place? That means payment is made. So as per accrual basis or accrual concept, it is immaterial. Immaterial means it is not important. All these we have discussed already in the previous chapter. So it is immaterial whether cash is paid or not. Similarly, it is not important or it is immaterial whether cash is received or not. What is important? Whether the transaction has taken place. We discussed one example also, isn't it? Same thing you can write as meaning of accrual basis. It is the same. Accrual concept and accrual basis meaning is same. Then under accrual basis or accrual concept, there was one more point like revenue will be recognized. Revenue is recognized at the time of transaction itself. We will not wait for the settlement to take place. Though we are selling goods on credit, that means right now are we getting the amount? Are we receiving the amount? No. But even then, revenue will be considered as earned. Revenue will be recognized means it will be considered as earned at the time of transaction. Similarly, expenses will be considered as incurred even though payment is not made. Even though we are not paying anything, right now we will consider it as incurred. We will consider that expense as incurred, though we haven't paid actually. Similarly, though we haven't received anything, you can write here even though amount is not received. Even though amount is not received, revenue will be considered as earned. Similarly, though the payment is not made, expenses will be considered as incurred. So this is the feature of accrual basis, that also you can write with the meaning. Then, so what can be the meaning of the next basis of accounting? Two bases we have, accrual and cash basis. Okay, what can be the meaning of cash basis of accounting? It will be the opposite. Here it is important whether the payment is made or not. Only then you can record the transaction. So what is the meaning? According to this, a transaction will be recorded in the books of account only when the payment is made or the amount is received. If you are selling something, the amount should be received, then only you can record the transaction. So what can be the example for this? How will you write the example for this? Same example you can make certain changes and write. On 1st April you sold goods on credit to Mr. Ram. Okay, you sold goods, so it's on credit. We'll get the payment on next month. We'll take 1st May. We will receive the amount. So if you are following cash basis, on which date transaction will be recorded? Will you record it on 1st April? No, you can't. Because though we have sold goods, it is on credit basis. That means that day you will not get the amount. You will be getting only on 1st May. Only on this date the transaction will be recorded in the books of account, because it is material. That means it is important whether cash is received. Only then you can record the transaction. Or if you are paying something, payment must be made. Cash must move out from the business. Then only you can record the transaction if we are following cash basis of accounting. Most of the firms will be following accrual basis. We will see the differences now. The points of difference we will see between cash basis and accrual basis. In this chapter, what you need to learn is only this. The difference between accrual basis and cash basis. In a columnar format, you must write the difference. Always, when you get the question to write the differences between two items, always write in a columnar format. That you must remember. Don't write it as paragraphs. Write in columnar format. So it is given in your textbook. We will discuss that. The differences between accrual and cash basis. So already we discussed the meaning. Next we will discuss each of these points. So this is how you have to write the answer. It should be in a columnar format. The first point of difference is nature. Under accrual basis, both cash and credit transactions will be recorded. Whether the payment is received or not, we will be recording that transaction. That credit transaction also will be recorded. Whereas under cash basis, only cash transactions will be recorded. So that is the difference between these two on the basis of nature. You can write like both cash and credit transactions will be recorded. You can explain and write. I am just writing the main points. Prepaid, then OS means outstanding expense, which we have discussed already in that chapter. Basic accounting terms, we saw different expenses, like two types of expenses we discussed. Which are they? Outstanding expenses and prepaid expenses. So here OS, that's a short form I wrote. You write outstanding expense. Okay, outstanding expense, accrued income, income received in advance. Okay, first we will discuss what are the meanings of these. Prepaid expense. Prepaid means paid in advance. Already we settled. Outstanding. This also we discussed. Outstanding means still we have to pay that. Expense which haven't paid yet, which have not paid yet, will be termed as outstanding. Then accrued income means income which is receivable, that you write now, because we haven't discussed that before. Accrued income means income which is receivable for you. It's not received yet, but it's receivable. Just like sold goods on credit. When you sell goods on credit, what happens? Right now we are not getting anything, but on a later date we'll be getting the amount. So it is receivable for us. Then income received in advance means before the date you got the amount. Suppose the customer agreed that he will make the payment on 1st May, like in previous example. But he paid, he paid the amount to the firm much before the due date. Due date means the agreed date on which he is supposed to make the payment. That was on 1st May. But he paid the amount, say for on, we sold on 1st April, right? So on 15th April, he paid the amount. If that is the case, it can be treated as income received in advance. Understood? So, under accrual basis, if we are following accrual basis, all these adjustments will be considered in this. That means we will consider prepaid expense, outstanding, accrued incomes and income received in advance. Whereas under cash basis, only when the payment is made, only when the amount is received, you will be recording the transaction. So prepaid items, outstanding, accrued incomes, income received in advance, all these will not be considered because all these are like adjustments. Prepaid means before the date you paid. Understood? Cash basis will consider only the transaction that happened on that time which is agreed between the buyer and seller, and that date you should receive the amount or you should pay the amount. So cash is paid or cash is received is very much important under cash basis. So all these will not be considered there. Then third point of difference is profit or loss. Meaning is, since we are considering all kind of adjustments like prepaid, outstanding items and all, this system, accrual system, will show correct profit or loss. The system will show correct profit or loss, whereas the cash basis will not show, it will not be showing the actual profit. The results will not be accurate under cash basis. Reason? All these items we are not considering. See, actually, if you have something like receivable, accrued income means receivable for you. We have sold goods on credit and on a later date, we will receive the amount. So, it is receivable for you. Shouldn't we consider such items? Suppose you sold goods for rupees 20,000 on credit basis. So, it is receivable for you to get that 20,000. Shouldn't we consider that 20 also while you compute profit and loss? P&L means profit and loss. Okay, so shouldn't we consider that 20 also, that 20,000 also? But under cash basis, we will not consider that. That is why it is not showing correct profit or loss amount. Then, technical knowledge. Which one requires technical knowledge actually? For that cash basis, do we need any technical knowledge? No, no need of any technical knowledge because we are not considering any adjustments. If the cash is paid, you will record. If cash is received, you will record. Other than that, all other transactions we are just ignoring. The payable, receivable, all these we are ignoring completely. So, no need of any technical knowledge. Whereas here we need, under accrual basis, we need technical knowledge. Then legal position. This accrual basis is recognized under Companies Act. That means it is legally recognized. Companies Act 2013. This one we can write, it is not recognized under Companies Act 2013. You must write the entire sentence. Now I am just writing the keywords. Okay, so it is having legal acceptability. Which method or which basis? The accrual basis. That is why it is being used by most of the firms. Then acceptability, reliability, all these points are actually similar. Okay, acceptability means it is widely accepted. Which method? The accrual basis, widely accepted because it shows correct profit and loss. It includes all type of transactions like credit and cash transactions. It includes all adjustments, that is prepaid, outstanding, everything is considered. So, it is widely accepted. You can write that explanation like that. Widely accepted because it shows correct profit or loss. Any one reason you write. Why it is widely accepted. Understood? Okay, here it is not so accepted or acceptability is less for cash basis of accounting. Most of the firms will not be following that particular basis. Then what next we have? Reliability is the next point. Yes, reliable. Is it reliable? Which method is reliable? Now from these points you can say which method is reliable. Which method is reliable? The first one, the accrual basis is more reliable because we are considering again the same reasons. More reliable because it shows correct profit and loss. Then it considers both type of transactions. It includes all adjustments. There it is the opposite. Everywhere reason is same. I mean when you say it is widely accepted. Why it is widely accepted? Because it shows correct profit and loss. It includes all adjustments. It includes all type of transactions like cash and credit transactions. So everything is included in accrual basis. So it is reliable, it is acceptable and all. Understood? So everywhere you can write the same explanation. Then next one is, this is suitability. Accrual basis is suitable for large business organizations because they require more information. And cash basis is normally used by professionals. Professionals means chartered accountants and lawyers. Then it is used by non-profit organization. Clear? So it is this first one, accrual basis is suitable for large business organizations. That means main aim is to make profit. There will be so many transactions in such organization. They require more information. For all these, they will be following accrual basis because it is having more information. It shows correct profit and loss. Then the other one, cash basis, is used mostly by non-profit organizations. Such organizations, mainly their purpose will be service rendering and their transactions will be less. So such organizations, since they require only very less information, they are following cash basis. Then professionals also, individuals also will be following. But most of the business organizations will be following the accrual basis of accounting. So only these points, that means 8 points we discussed. At least 6 points you should study. Clear? Only this topic we have from this chapter. The meaning of accrual and cash basis, then the point of differences. I hope you all understood this portion. Just read it. It is given in your textbook in a columnar format. You can go through that. It's given on page number 4.3. Other than that, they have given advantages, disadvantages, that you just read, that is enough. What you have to study is these point of differences.